Jai Hind everyone, myself Sandeep Yadav, Assistant Professor CSC Department in Ajay Kumar Garg Engineering College. Today I am going to deliver a lecture on entrepreneurship, which is a part of the curriculum of project management and entrepreneurship, which is being taught to the final year student in 7th semester or 8th semester in AKTU. Today we are going to discuss the formal concepts of entrepreneurship. These are the content, meaning, definition, and the concept of entrepreneurship and entrepreneurship development, entrepreneurship mindset, and common myth to becoming entrepreneur and as to how to avoid them. So, first of all, we will be studying about what is an entrepreneur. So, entrepreneur is considered as a person who set up his business or venture or industry. He has initiative, skill set, drive, spirit of innovations, and aim at high goals. He has a killing power. He has a great passion to accomplish his tasks. So, he is the individual who gathers the necessary resources, sees the opportunity, and is ultimately responsible for the performance of the organization. He is highly action oriented, highly motivated, and individual who takes calculated risks to achieve the goal on the time. So, an entrepreneur plays a vital role in the economic development of a country. Actually, an entrepreneur is not a job seeker, but he is a job creator. So, ultimately, he serves the society by creating a lot of jobs for the society. Well, the word entrepreneur is derived from the French word entreprendre, which means go between or to undertake. As per the Webster dictionary, one who organizes, manages, and assumes the risk of a business or enterprise can be called an entrepreneur. Now, as per the Oxford dictionary, an entrepreneur is a person who undertakes an enterprise with the profit or loss keeping in the mind. Either you can have loss or the profit, it depends on the situation, but the target is profit maximization, and in turn this help in the economic development of the countries. So, entrepreneur is a person who undertakes a business activity which he has no background and face a considerable risk in the process. If either of the two elements, no background or considerable risk is missing, then it is no entrepreneurship. So, as per the new encyclopedia, an individual who bears the risk of operating business in the face of uncertainty about the future condition is an entrepreneur. Well, these are the definitions which are given by the standards, books, or dictionaries, or various eminent experts of this field. And entrepreneurship is a philosophy or the process through which an entrepreneur seeks innovation and employment. Now, there are three terms which are quite oftenly used. One is entrepreneur, another is entrepreneurship, and another is the enterprise. So, entrepreneur, who is entrepreneur? Any person who has a vision is entrepreneur. Entrepreneurship is what? It is a process or a philosophy or guiding principles that an entrepreneur uses. And what is enterprise? Enterprise is a organization that is used by the entrepreneur for his vision. Now, as per the Richard Cantinel, a person who pays a certain price to a product to resell it at uncertain price, thereby making the decision about obtaining and using the resources while subsequently admitting the risk of an enterprise. Adam Smith, a well-known economist, Adam Smith says, an individual who undertakes the formation of an organization for commercial purpose by recognizing the potential demand for goods and services and thereby acting as an agent and transform demand into supply. Peter F. Drucker, an entrepreneur is one who searches for changes, responds to it, and exploit it as an opportunity. He believes in increasing the value and consumer satisfaction. Thus, a professional manager who mobilizes the resource and allocates them for the commercial gain from an opportunity is called an entrepreneur. As per the Francis A. Walker, a true entrepreneur is a one who is endowed with more than average capacity in the task of organizing and coordinating the various factors of the productions. He is a pioneer and the leader or a captain of the industry. It is his vision which prevails, which drives the industry or the organization, which propels it to the highest levels. Now, Joseph Salpeter describes an entrepreneur as an innovator. He describes it as a part of innovation theory, which carries out a combination to initiate the process of economic development through the introduction of new product, new market, new resource of raw material and establishment of new organization. The process of development is deliberate and continuous phenomena which is actively promoted by the service of change agent who provide economic leadership. To sum up, entrepreneurship can be defined as a systematic innovation which consists of a purposeful and organized search for changes and a systematic analysis of the opportunity that such change might offer for economic and social transformations. Well, now we will be discussing something in detail regarding how the entrepreneurship has evolved. So, the first period that is described in ancient industry and ancient period in ancient India or throughout the ancient world were the dharmas, the Manusmriti. Manusmriti clearly deals with various examples sets of entrepreneurship which was prevailing at the time in Vedic ages. Then it deals with agriculture, handicraft, iron, cloth, livestock. So all of the merchants were there for carrying out these activity. Now second period is related to pre-independence era before 1950. It mainly deals with metalwork, agriculture, handiwork, stoneworking, jewelry, designing. This period saw the dominations of Parsis, Marwadis, Gujaratis and the Jain community, particularly the trading community. These are the trading communities in India and still they hold the majority of the industry. As such, the people have the necessary capability as well as their help from their community which help them to drive the business. And third, the period from 1950 to 1947, the British start harnessing the resources of the India to their advantage to develop the roads, railways, ports, post offices, etc. This in turn helped the India also since it integrated the country. Then the jute industry was there, the textile industry, the tea industry and the coal industry. And this period also saw the emergence of various Parsis entrepreneurs like Birlas, Tatas, and this period also saw the Swadeshi movement being carried out by the nationalist forces who were seeking the dependence. So, for to use the Swadeshi item for the this in turn was going to help the country in internal development, economic development of the country at that time before the independence. Thereafter, the independence, after the independence, the post-independence period, there was a first the IPR policies was formulated in 1948 and the period saw the rise of Marwaris, Birlas, Dalmias, Goenkas, Singhania, Bajaj and Kirloskar. To overcome the shortcomings of the policies of 1948, the IPR policy was reframed in 1956 and this period also saw the development of heavy industry in the public sectors. The activities was keenly taken by the government at that time because we were in underdeveloped state. So it was the duty of the state to formulate the policies and to develop this particular sector since the private sector was in nascent stage. This period also saw the nationalization of the banks by late Prime Minister Indira Gandhi so as to increase the reach of the banks to the masses. Also, the NSIC was formed, that is National Small Industry Corporation. Khadi and Village Industry Organization was also set up. MSME sector was also set up, that is the Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises. SFC, State Funding Corporation, was also set up, and there is a set of new families who are entrepreneur. Mostly though they have inherited from their parents, that is from their previous generations. So rising family entrepreneurship also emerged during this period. So this now on a world scale, the in the Middle Ages, the actor and the person in charge of the large scale production projects was an entrepreneur. In thereafter, they saw a person bearing the risk or the profit in fixed price contract was this one. Now, according to Richard Cantillon, we have already discussed, person bearing risk is different from the person that is the risk bearer. As per John Baptiste, shifts economic resources out from an area of lower to higher productivity and greater yields. That is the organizer or the coordinator. The main emphasis is the profit maximization, which in turn leads to the creation of different jobs for the masses, which in turn led to the economic development of the country. Now, next theory was proposed by David McClelland, that is the theory regarding highly motivated, energetic and moderate risk taker. It specifies the need for achievement that deals with 3 A's. Next theory was proposed by Peter Drucker, that is he searches for the changes, responds to it and exploit the opportunity. That is, this theory mainly focus on using the opportunity, and the first theory, it deals with the need for achievement, need for recognition, need for affiliation in the society. Now, next theory was populated by Krisner, an entrepreneur who discovers opportunity and low price and sell it high price because of the intertemporal and interspatial demand. That is, this theory is mainly demand focused theory. Next theory, that is developed by Carl Whisper, is basically environment related theory, that is seen differently by economists, psychologists, businessmen and the politicians. Now, a new theory that is developed by Gifford Pinchot, it deals with the entrepreneur. Entrepreneur, he is a person within an organization who performs all duties like an entrepreneur, but he is an employee, the organizer. He does not have any risk. He is just an employee, but carries out all the duties that are desired from him. Now, the Robert Hirsch proposed the leadership and the vision theory, that is, it deals with creating something different with values, devoting time and effort, assuming the risk, and the result are reward and the satisfaction. In 2008, National Knowledge Commission of India says that the professional application of knowledge, skill and competencies for monetizing a new idea by an individual or a set of people by launching an enterprise, innovating or diversifying from an existing one to pursue growth while generating employment and the social goods. Now, what are the charms for becoming an entrepreneur? See, an entrepreneur has the opportunity to create his own destiny. He has the opportunity to make difference, to create difference. Next is the opportunity to utilize own potential fully and opportunity to reap impressive profits. Then the opportunity to contribute to the welfare of the society. So, these are the charms to become an entrepreneur. Then the opportunity to do what one enjoys. That is one enjoy. If we do the work in the field in which we enjoy, we will be having the force multiplier from within ourselves. We will be very happy in doing the job which we learn, which we are, which in which we are more interested. We have passion for it. Now the pros and cons. Now, what are the pros? What are the benefits? That I am the boss. I report to no one. All profits are mine, and I have great divergence of roles and tasks. This, by becoming an entrepreneur, become super confident. Confidence level increases. Works can be satisfying, and the success gives immense satisfaction to the entrepreneur. But these are only pros. Cons can also be there. That is, he's alone, right? If there is failure, no one is there to support him. He's alone in the battle. All the decisions are taken by him. It is his responsibility, final responsibility. He, as all profits are his, similarly all losses are his. He need to put in extra efforts. Lack of success will affect his esteem. If he is not successful, it leads to lack of esteem and he will exit the business. Pressure from the family is also there. Next is the characteristics of entrepreneur. The first characteristics of entrepreneur is vision. An entrepreneur has a dream and he visualizes the ways and the means to achieve dream. In doing so, he visualizes the market demand, socio-economic environment and technological environment, and then based on these dynamics, he visualizes the future for his business venture. An entrepreneur has full knowledge about the technicalities of his business, be it technological, operational and financial or market. Desire to succeed. An entrepreneur has a keen desire to succeed. His dreams are not just limited to achieving one single goal, but constantly work to achieve higher goals. Fourth is independence. An entrepreneur needs independence in the work and decision making. They don't follow the rules of thumb, but they create their own rules and destiny. And next is they are highly optimistic about achieving their visions. Next is value addition. The entrepreneur do not follow the thumb rules, but they have constant desire to introduce something new to the existing businesses. They create, innovate or add value to the existing product or services. Next important characteristic of an entrepreneur is leadership. He exhibits a quality of good leaders. He is a good planner, organizer, having excellent communication skill, good decision maker, take initiative to implement plans and are result oriented. Hardworking, at times they are workaholic. Work is worship for them. This should be the motto. They put in continuous effort to achieve success and know that there is no substitute for hard work. Next is the risk-taking capability. Risk is inherent in every field, an inseparable part of entrepreneurship. He assumes the uncertainty of a future. An entrepreneur guaranteed rent to the landlord, wages to the employee, and interest to the investor in the hope of earning more than the expenses that are being incurred. Now, another characteristics might be mental ability, clear, objective, business secrecy, HR ability, communication ability, technical knowledge, achievement oriented, perseverance, ethical, motivator, self-confident, and ETO. These are the secondary characteristics. Now, the next is entrepreneurs versus entrepreneurship. See, an entrepreneur is a person who bears the risk, unites various factors of the production, and carries out the creative innovations. He tries to create something new. He always attempts to bring changes in the terms of factor proportions. On the contrary, entrepreneurship is the set of activity performed by an entrepreneur. It is the process of identifying the opportunity in the market and marshalling the resources required to pursue these opportunity for term gains. It is an attempt to create value. So these are the differences. Entrepreneur is a person, whereas entrepreneurship is process. Organizers versus organizations. Innovator versus innovations. risk bearer versus risk bearing, motivators versus motivations. So these are the relationship between an entrepreneur and entrepreneurship, leader versus leadership, amateur, imitations. So it is one is a process, another is a person. Now, entrepreneurship refers to the process of an action an entrepreneur undertakes to establish his enterprise. It is a creative and innovative response to the environment. In other words, entrepreneurship can be defined as the ability to discover, create, or invent opportunities and exploit them to the benefit of the society, which in turn bring the huge prosperity to the innovator and his organization. There are several theories regarding entrepreneurship, which we are not going to discuss in detail. First is the theory that is being proposed by Joseph A. Schumpeter, which states that entrepreneurship is a function of innovation. Another theory is being proposed by Frederick Harbinson, which says that entrepreneurship is an organization building activity. It is the most critical skill that is needed for the industrial development. Next theory is being proposed by Hoselitz, which says that entrepreneurship is a function of managerial skills and the leadership. So, an entrepreneur is supposed to have managerial capabilities. An important thing is he must have the ability to lead. Next theory is proposed by McClelland, which says that entrepreneurship is a function of high achievements. That is, the businessman who behaves in traditional way is not an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur appears to call for decision making under uncertainties. So he firstly doing things in a better and new way, and second, decision making under uncertainty. He lays emphasis on three things: need for achievement, need for power, and need for affiliation. Next theory is proposed by John Kunnell, which states that the entrepreneurship is a function of social, political, and economic structure in the society. Next theory is being proposed by Levinston, which says that it is a function of input and gap filling. See, he identified gap filling as an important characteristic of the entrepreneurship. That is, important thing is that in economic theory, the production function is considered to be well defined and completely known. It is an entrepreneur function to make up for the deficiencies or to fill the gaps. These gaps arise because all the inputs in the production function cannot be marked, because some inputs like motivation etc. are vague in nature, and whose input is input as well as output is undeterminate. We cannot determine the output as such. This gap filling activity gives rise to the most important entrepreneurial function, that is input completing. He has to marshal all the input to finally realize the final output. Well, this is all about today's lecture. Jai Hind.